This podcast is intended for adults only. We do not condone the use of any illegal substances, and anything we consume is for educational purposes only.
Because, we should be afraid of a plant that grows from the ground. And, endocannabinoid system is, it's in your body and it produces cannabinoids. I mean, you know what? I'm going to stop because I'm going to rant. Just play the music, Mitch.
6 states, never thought I'd be there right by my side, man. What a time it is to be alive. See, I'm charged up, feeling energized, build an enterprise, move supersize. Y'all let you like a side of fries. Whoa, false guys who you idolize. Yeah, go against us, I would not advise. We the highest in the room, just look up once and you can find us. Our songs should have more plays, but we too dope, they rewind us. All my targets lined up, every day my girl get fine.
You're listening to the Canna podcast, where we are cultivating conversations concerning cannabis, culture, and creativity. I'm one of your hosts, Mitch Narito.
And it is Eric Esteban over here. And we are growing in the summer heat.
It's hot.
In the Buddha Lounge, it is very hot. Mitch can't even deal with it.
No, it's 90 degrees outside. Inside your little green room or
it's
whatever.
like 100.
It's probably like 100, and it's humid. It's humid in there.
Well, because it's humid. It's a greenhouse, baby.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm actually getting into it. It's almost like a sauna for me.
Why do you say like a sauna?
A sauna.
Sweet German. No?
I'm enjoying, I'm taking advantage of it because it's like working out in a sauna. So I'm on the stationary bike in there after I check out the plants and I'm working out.
You're just sweating all the toxins you're putting into your body by smoking. That's all it's just the perpetual cycle.
Nah, but for real, I do definitely feel that for when I drink alcohol. I am not into it. You know what I'm saying? Like it definitely, I'm sweating that shit out, which is great. No, but I don't think I'm sweating out the weed.
I always have alcohol sweats now. No matter what amount I drink, I'll have that clamminess all night, and then when I wake up, it's just like, ooh,
see,
that's all out.
And that's not something that happens with weed. That's why I'm trying to stick to weed. I'm doing my best to kind of not even regulate. I'm just not gonna buy it anymore. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
My dad. I'll always drink with my dad, but I'm trying as much as possible to just not do it anymore.
I don't know. It's tough for me. Like I've been trying to just do it also because of financial reasons. Like it could rack up, but
especially at the club, even in the comedy clubs, even when you're getting a few comps, it still gets expensive because when you get a comp, you want to tip better, right?
Yeah.
So it evens out.
Yeah, but also it's I don't know. Like I've been sheltered. Like I grew up sheltered, and I feel like I'm like people eventually grow out of it, like sometimes like some people will like do certain things up until a certain age or whatever. And for myself, I've told you, I didn't start partying or anything until I hit 21. And I've slowed down, but it's not completely out of my system, I would say.
Sure.
I haven't burned myself out on it. Like I do enjoy a drink with friends and just getting a little loosey-goosey.
Sure, no, and we produced a show together for 2 years, so I know how loosey goosey you can be when you have a little bit too much, but it's also fun but at the same time, for me, I'm at a point now in my life where the recovery from the loosey goosey,
it hurts. It
hurts too much.
But also, so in all the time we've been hanging out, you've probably seen me
maybe once or twice.
Really? Like that's it? Okay,
that's it. Yeah.
Like in my 20s. It was like every weekend, like Thursday through Saturday at least.
Well, that's I think everybody's. I never, even in my 20s, I never overindulged just because I never could afford it. When you talk about alcohol and at the clubs and the bars, the only time that I really was able to really indulge was when I would go to Wrigleyville and I go to the Cubs game, and my homies who worked at all the clubs, all the bars in Wrigleyville, and they could just hook it up because it was just draft beer, so it was just on the.
Oh man, I would.
And it was I would be. Those were the times I almost remember, like being close to blacking out and all that stuff.
I was always I would always scumbag it. I would always pregame. I'd have a little flask. I'd have some sort of little thing on me.
No,
right?
I never drank that much. It was never that. If it was there at the party, all the better. But if it wasn't there, I was always going to smoke. I always had a joint or something. And then in Chicago was just the adventure of trying to figure out a place where I could smoke where I wouldn't get caught.
Yeah.
Back in the day. But now, even now in Chicago, I can walk down the street and, and smoke.
No, but it also like, so I have one friend. I don't know what the condition is called, but the man cannot literally burp. He can't burp. Right? So like if he drinks a lot of beer, right?
Does he fart?
No. Oh yeah, he farts. He farts a ton. He can fart on command.
So then, there you go. That's where
that's
comes.
how.
It's got to come out somewhere.
That's his pressure relief, but he can't burp, right? And
that's crazy.
I remember one time we had like he was a DJ. They were DJing down in downtown somewhere. We had been drinking pitchers because it was like a Korean bar, Japanese bar.
Sure. Okay.
So we were drinking pitchers of beer, right?
Of Asahi or Sapporo or
something super
sure.
dry, right?
Yeah.
And then usually he can smoke and it'll level him out, right? But we didn't smoke. We decided like right after we were drinking, like, hey, let's go get some Yoshinoya, right? And this is like in Koreatown before like Koreatown was like the huge thing it was now. It was like, like the actual Koreatown. And we were there. My buddy orders a large beef bowl, right? Hands the lady a 20 and immediately passes out on the counter, right? And my other buddies and I were drunk, and we thought he was fucking around. So we're giggling. We're like, "Hey, get up! Quit playing around!" Right? And we try to pick him up, right? And like when a baby doesn't want to be held, they do that like dead weight. Like,
well, yeah, it's just dead weight. Yeah.
So like we tried to grab his arms, right? And then like we pulled him off the counter, and he immediately just slid to the floor, right?
Yeah.
And we were cracking up. And then there was this dude. He was like in a suit. It was just like a middle-aged Korean dude. He looked at us. He's like, "Come on, guys!" And he freaking picked up my friend, and he fireman carried him, and he put him into a chair, right? And then went back in line and ordered his food. He was just like, "Come on, guys!" And then my other homies had gone to the bathroom.
You had a grown-ass Korean man discipline y'all, and then
He didn't discipline. He was just doing us a solid.
But then fireman carried your drunk ass passed out friend to a chair.
That's because me and my
That's
other
a
friend,
good ass Samaritan right there.
No, he was good because like I'm pretty sure he was around. I'm pretty sure he's been there because like me and my friend were like stupid drunk.
I've been there and I wouldn't have helped y'all.
We were giggling. We thought it was the funniest thing because we're just
I would have just looked at your dumb asses and said, "Are you done? Can I order my food now?"
No, you know what the best part was though?
Stepped over your friend and I'd have ordered my Yoshinoya.
The best part was like the person that was working behind the counter. It was this black lady, right? And she took my friend's money and he passed out. And she's like, "Oh my God, is he okay? Do I need to call 911? Oh my God, that's not no." And she's like flipping out, right? She's like freaking out. And then the Korean dude's just like, "Guys, come on," and like freaking just handled business.
That was a big Korean dude. I'm good. That's a good thing to. I don't know why you went into that drunk story on the Canna Kuyas.
No, but I mean we're talking about like
but it is the effects of alcohol, man. And I like I said, I don't want to have a drunk pass out. I don't want to pass out at Yoshinoya and have to depend on, especially with you, because I'm going to have to depend on some good Samaritan big Korean dude to be able to fireman carry me to the chair.
No,
or else y'all would
okay,
stay laughing at me on the floor.
Tying this back into the podcast is because my friend hadn't smoked.
Well, and that's the thing. That's why cannabis, for me, is just I'd rather just smoke than do anything. Give me a nice lemonade or a nice one or two cocktails is fine, but I'm not trying to get drunk anymore, man. It's not a thing. That's part of why I started growing too, is so that I have enough weed to not have to buy or supplement my, I need something to help me fall asleep type of thing. It's that's having my own weed is part of not having to drink so much either.
And like drinking, like I don't know, I just because I could smoke a lot. Like when we were in San Diego and we smoked a lot that night. Like not like way more than the average person would partake.
Sure.
And next morning, like I told you, like I woke up, my back was feeling great. I was like rested.
Yeah.
But I can't do that with alcohol. Like if I drink.
No, if you drank like that night, first we wouldn't have got home.
Yeah. Like,
and second, none of us, if any of us drank the way we smoked that night, none of us would have been able to recover the day after.
Yeah, that would have been like 2 days. That would have been
and
straight
it sure
up,
wouldn't have helped your back feel better.
Yeah, no, that would have been alcohol poisoning for sure.
No, but you know that I have to say, like when I'm in full supply and I'm able to smoke whenever, I smoke a lot. You know, I do. I like it. I like the way it makes my brain feel. I like the way my brain moves when I'm stoned.
See, I like what I'm noticing, especially with hanging out with you, right? Like, I can smoke just like a small amount and be good, right? But if it's in front of me or if it's offered to me, I'm not gonna turn it down. Like, the only time I turn it down is if it, like, for some reason, like someone gives me the heebie-jeebies, you know? Like, I'm just like, oh, I don't want to share anything.
Yeah, no, I if I ever get I still don't like to share even now. Mm-hmm. I don't, especially now that I have my own, and I'm growing my own. I don't like to share anymore, especially when I don't know where it's from. Just because I've had so many bad interactions with folks with different types of weed and different stuff that's been laced with bullshit, and so I try not to share anymore, especially if I don't know you very well, and if I get the little skeevy or a little bad vibe from you, I'm definitely not smoking whatever you got.
Yeah,
you know. But again, that's. It's because I grow my own. That's almost the fact that it gives me the confidence to not be like, because it's funny right now. I'm in between harvests, right? I was harvesting every month for the past 6 months till June, and now I've run out. I'm going back to the dispenser again. So now I'm kind of trying to conserve again. You know, like I'm smoking only a quarter of the bowl all throughout the day versus smoking the whole bowl in one sitting.
Yeah,
you know, so there's a lot of different. It's teaching me a lot about my consumption, in fact. And so the next time, my next harvest, when I'm harvesting and I have 5 or 6 jars of weed, it's not going to just last a month.
No, but it straight up is that feeling where it's like, especially if it depends, like if you're smoking something heavier, right? Like if you smoke a lot, you'll be like, okay, I'm going to be too lazy or too tired to do anything after this. Like I'll feel good, but then like I might not be active, you know? Like it's always that type of like, do I need to? No, I'm okay. You know, like that's...
See, and that's where our consumption is different. Hold on. That's where our consumption is different. But no, I'm just looking at the levels of the podcast, and my voice it was just my volume of my voice. We're here. We're still adjusting all the audio levels. We're still a brand new podcast, even though we're at episode 25, which is tripping me out a little bit.
We're a quarter of a century old.
No, but what was I talking about? Because we smoked a little bit before the show, like we always do, and that's why this show is a little bit. You're smoking with us. If you smoke with us before you start this podcast, it really does lend itself to the banter.
Yeah, we've been told that like our format isn't the easiest to follow, but if you smoke
right before you press play,
it makes perfect sense.
You're right there with us. So let's do a grow update.
Tell me about it.
No, because I like that we had a little bit of a alcohol versus cannabis discussion up top, because that's really always been the choices for me. I've never been into hard stuff. I'm not a experimenter in the except for the mushrooms, which is, again, from the earth. No,
like I've said, I've tried some stuff. Like weed is the one where it's like, okay, this is the one I'm most comfortable with.
So as far as the grow update is, there's one thing that I know. If you follow us on Instagram at Canna Kuyas, or is it Canna Kuya? Canna Kuyas.
Canna Kuyas.
Canna Kuyas. Thank you. I just want to be sure because we just changed it. We just changed it from Canna Kuya Grow to Canna Kuyas. So you can follow us at Instagram at Canna Kuyas. And if you follow us there, you will see and you will know that Mitch picked out a clone of Jack Herrera from Buds and Roses here in LA.
Hell yeah, I did.
And I was able to get a OG DJ Short Blueberry, but the initial clone of mine died. But I was able to clone it, and that little clone is still alive and not thriving necessarily, but it's still there. It's still green.
Hanging in there.
It's hanging in there, and it's growing. So we're going to see if we can keep that clone and then put that in. We're going to see. But then I have a bunch of seedlings that popped. I popped 8 seeds from Homegrown Seed Company, 4 Jedi cookies and 4 strawberry cough. 3 strawberry cough popped, and 2 Jedi cookies popped. So I got 2 Jedi cookie plants, 2 Jedi cookie seedlings growing, and 3 strawberry cough seedlings, which are all, I'm excited about all that shit.
They're all female?
All they're feminized seeds, so
okay.
yeah, they're all female.
All right.
So and then the autoflower plants, the lion's claw that we're growing, and the whole other small tent, all in 1 gallon pots, all being fertilized only with grow dots and recharge. It's like kind of a little bit of an autoflower experiment, because if this is the way it runs, this is kind of how I'm going to run the autoflowers in smaller pots, so they grow up. They're quick. They're smaller plants, but they each plant yields about an ounce and a half, and you got 12 plants in there. You're in good shape, So that's kind of how I'm going to set up my that small tent will be the autoflower tent, and it'll always be that. And so that's kind of what I'm trying to set up, and then the 2 other big tents will be the veg and flower tents.
So how are all the plants doing?
All the plants are doing well. The Jack, I opened up with the Jack Herrera, and that one is doing the best. But it's also the most interesting to talk about, in as far as the grow update, because it went through a bunch of transplant shock. A lot of its leaves fell off, and so I don't know whether it was partially in flower, the clone or the cutting that they gave us was partially in flower already, but it's going to re-veg, which means it's got to almost go back to the veg cycle, to the vegetative cycle, so to just produce leaves rather than flowers. And with that, you've got like 1-bladed leaves and 3-bladed leaves instead of your traditional 5-bladed cannabis leaf. And so until it starts showing that morphology is the word that they used when I was talking to Buds and Roses, until it shows its traditional morphology as far as with the 5 leaves, it's still re-vegging and not yet technically vegging or in the vegetative cycle. So you can't even try to flip it to flower until. So I've got to allow for more time in the case of the Jack Herrera to be in veg. So it's going to still be on the 18-6 light cycle rather than the 12-12, or some people were experimenting with 11-13, 11 on, 13 off life cycle for flower. So I'm going to play with all that stuff as we go this grow.
Nice. So any concerns that you're worried about? Like,
well, with the lion's claw, it's just a matter of micromanaging and always fidgeting and futzing and checking in on the plants, because you like watching them grow, and I'm interested in it. I like doing it, but sometimes you can do a little too much. And I took a top off of one of the autoflower plants, and I don't normally top my plants, but it's a little topping experiment now, because I and broke
Topped
it
again?
when I was trying to train it lower. I bent it a little too much and broke. And I tried to fix it at first, and maybe with a little tape, because sometimes it'll heal itself.
Yeah.
But no, it wasn't gonna. It broke it topped itself perfectly, at least. So now there's 2 offshoots growing, and it's a traditional topping. So there's 2 new branches growing. So we'll see what happens.
All right.
Maybe it'll be a good thing, and maybe I'll start topping my plants. But I'm not one to try and stress the plants out like that much. So I don't like doing that. But that's just me.
So let's move on. Today, when I got to Eric's place, he met me out by the curb and was like, "Hey man, I gotta take my dog to the vet." And so we took his dog,
Echo.
Echo. His daughter came with us to keep the dog calm. because Echo's been limping.
Yeah, she has a little injury in her knee, according to the vet, after the diagnosis. But it's a muscle injury, and so when I was sitting there paying an exorbitant amount for the drugs that they've given her for prescription, I also thought about how CBD and cannabis and in its CBD form is great for muscle inflammation and like how you said, when you smoked, you always smoked after Ube World, your back was feeling real bad, and then you woke up and your back was feeling great because part of it is the cannabinoids that are there that work with your endocannabinoid system, or however the fuck you say that shit, but they work with it so that your muscles can relax and chill. And so I was thinking about giving some CBD to my dog because they have some formulated CBD formulas for pets out here.
Was that the medication that your vet gave you?
No.
Oh, you were just gonna give it to them?
I was gonna, when I can afford it, I'm gonna go to the dispensary that I know carries. I think it's something Gnarls and Barkley or some.
They sell it at Target. They sell
with
it
the CBD.
Yeah, they sell CBD like drops at the pet store. Like I know that like PetSmart carries them.
So there you go. So I think I would rather go to a cannabis dispensary just to
And if it doesn't work on the dog,
because whatever CBD they're getting at Target, I'm not sure about that necessarily. And not to say that I'm necessarily sure about the CBD I get at the dispensary. If you read that LA Times thing that we mentioned last week, it's funky, but it's also good because a lot of those brands, like today, we sampled some Stizzy, and you said you got it for a very good price.
Yeah, it was buy one get one pretty much.
So, and that had to be, who knows if that's a PR move by them or a PR move by the dispensary to get rid of the products that were named in that article.
I don't even think the dispensary I was at cared.
I don't think either. I think that was another.
No, it was fear mongering.
It was propaganda.
It was fear mongering on LA Times, and LA Times is usually pretty good about that stuff. But then, like, I already knew, like.
Well, we're here in California, though, man. You got to think about who profits from the cannabis industry.
Yeah, no, but I already knew it was clickbait because once you click on it, it's like, all right, now
here's the paywall.
Yeah, there's a paywall. If you wanna. We're gonna tell you it's a public health crisis, but we're not gonna put the information out there for free. Yeah. So I was just like, what? It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make sense. But anyhow, I know that. What else we want to talk about today?
No, but like we're talking about like CBD for, like for pain and stuff. And I know that my neighbors before they had cats and like they were just very like amped all the time, so they would give them CBD drops just to calm them down, not put them to sleep or sedate them,
sure,
but just so the cats weren't always high strung. Because like stress is really bad for any animal, right?
Yeah.
And
that's why I feel like it would work for Echo because she's a very stressed out girl anyway. She's always, she's a very anxious. She's alert. We'll say it like that. She's a very alert dog, so she's always checking out everything.
I've been taking, because I had bought my wife CBD capsules because
she doesn't smoke, right?
She doesn't smoke. She'll have an edible like once in a blue moon, and when I say like it's very hard because like she doesn't take them enough to know like how to track what she's feeling. So sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not so good.
It's almost like a mushroom trip for her.
Yeah, like straight up, like there was one time we had gone to Disneyland and we had to sit down for like 2 hours on a park bench because like it was too intense for her. So we were just watching, we were just crowd watching, and I was just like, she was tripping balls. She's like, oh my God. And I'm just like, oh man, I just want to go on a ride, like I
would have been like, oh man, I wish edibles had hit me like that.
No, she was feeling, and it was like she had only had like 10 milligrams. Like usually when I go out to the parks, I'll take like 2 or 3 right before I go.
There was only one time when edibles hit me was when I took 1,000 milligram candy, and I ate the whole thing.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot. And
was that like a Chiba Chew?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. It was a Chiba Chew, and it was, how you segment it out, and you're supposed to. But I was getting on the plane, and it was allegedly at Heathrow Airport in the UK. So I didn't want to get caught in international.
Yeah.
So I just put the whole thing in my mouth.
So you were just all high anyway.
No, I actually, there was the first time that I was ever so high that I had to vomit, and I vomited in the airplane before we were taking off.
See, like, okay, so I've been like, I've had stuff like that, like.
But that's the only time, and that was the only edible thing that I can ever remember feeling, other than falling asleep.
See, like, I've only had 2 bad experiences with edibles. Like, one.
Well, wasn't that your first experience with cannabis? Was with edibles?
Yeah, but like, it was just very intense in my body. Like, I threw up, and afterwards, I felt fine.
Yeah.
And then, okay, so I guess it would be 3 times. So it'd be that one, right? And then.
Yeah, after I threw up, I was fine.
Yeah, someone gave me like a hash edible, and that was like that had me seeing shit. Like,
really?
Yeah, it was really strong. And
okay,
like,
I'm gonna write down a note. Try a hash edible.
It's not necessary. Like,
I want to.
I guess.
For me, I'm a Canna Kuya. I want to.
And then there's one brand of cookie that's out there right now where it's like.
That hits you?
It really hits, but it's because the doses are inconsistent. It says like, so it'll be like, like it's a cookie, and then they're like, all right, split it into eighths, right? Like, or quarters or whatever, right? And I had a quarter one time, didn't feel anything, right? Had a quarter the other time, and it was way too intense. So it was like concentrated in like a specific part of the cookie. It wasn't like evenly distributed or whatever, or at least that's what I'm interpreting, because the circumstances in which I took them were pretty similar. And like one time I didn't feel anything, the other time it was way too much.
Hey, let me ask you something. Do you have an old slow cooker?
Yeah. Like a crock pot?
Like an old crock pot, or a one you could spare?
I think so.
We could make weed butter with the frozen growth shavings from the lion's claw, from the first lion's claw.
Good.
Because all you need, we should do that. We should make a video on Instagram, and we should use a slow cooker. Because I don't want to use a slow cooker that I use for dinner, because my wife will get mad. That's why I'm asking you if you have a spare one, because I feel like after you when we had that garage sale, you have so much random stuff that I felt like if I asked you if you had a spare.
No, I think I had a.
And also, you're like a Boy Scout. You always have something. Whenever you ask, Mitch, you got this, and you'd be like, actually, I do.
Yeah, so that's I do have one. I used it like maybe 3 times the entire time I've had it. Like, I used it to slow cook adobo one time because I just wanted to see what it tasted like, and it's fine.
It's good.
Yeah,
nice and tender.
What else? I made like nacho cheese one time.
Okay.
And then the other time it was like a stew.
Now, see, we use remember, my wife is Caucasian, so like Iowa Caucasian, so we have like pot roast and shit all the time. Yeah. So like we're slow cooking all the time. So if I were to use our slow cooker to make weed butter, my wife would,
like, you'd have remnants in it.
She'd get mad. No,
I'm pretty sure. I think.
And also, I'd know that we'd have to also do it in my garage. We couldn't do it in the house, because I respect my wife.
Yeah, I mean, I'll donate my slow cooker to the cause. I'm not using that. I have a bunch of cooking stuff that I have like a nice.
All right, so follow us on Canna Kuya. God damn, I'm so used to Canna Kuya Grow. I'm sorry, but follow us at the Canna Kuyas for some weed butter updates, because I'm thinking we're going to do the first experiment on weed butter with Mitch's spare slow cooker. Because I feel like we should do that, because it's been sitting in the freezer now since I last harvested my first lion's claw.
Hold on. Before we continue, can I clarify one thing?
Yes, sir.
People have brought this up to me because it's confusing. If you're following us on Instagram, it's just Canna Kuyas.
Canna Kuyas. There's no the.
There is no the. It's just
Canna Kuyas.
There you go.
CANNA. Kuyas. I hate spelling out loud.
You're like, you do it so fast, and then once you get to the Kuya, it's like, hold on.
I just want to make sure I do the Y instead of another. I just want to spell it right, okay? And I'm insecure about. I've learned this about myself as I get older. that I'm insecure about spelling out loud.
So, anyways, yeah, just to make sure we get people going to the right spot so they can find it. It's Canna Kuyas. No the Canna Kuyas.
Thank you, Mitch.
You're welcome
For the clarification.
You need it
All the time.
Where were we? You want to talk about what you're doing in San Diego this weekend?
Well, yeah. Well, actually, you know what? Skip that for now, just only because they didn't want us to bring the merch.
You can still tell people to meet you up.
In fact, yes. If you are a fan of the Canna Kuyas and you are at the Phil Am Friendship Festival this weekend in San Diego, then guess what? You come to me and you say, yo, Eric, I listen to the Canna Kuyas. Come to the booth, the 1-2 Productions booth, and you say, and I'll have Canna Kuya merch available for you in my trunk. And we'll do it Masterpiece style, okay? So if you
Masterpiece style.
Not for real. If you come to the Phil Am Friendship Day on July 13th at I don't have all the information. I'll tell you the information at the end of the thing. But at the NTC Park Liberty Station, July 13th from 11 to 6 p.m., I believe, I'll be hosting and co-hosting, and I'll also be at the 1-2 Productions booth. And I'll be selling Miscellaneous Brown, my comedy special merch there. I'm promoting my comedy special. But if you are listening to this and you are a Canna Kuya listener and a fan of the Canna Kuyas and you want some merch, just let me know and I can go to my car and we'll, again, get it from my trunk.
And then also, Eric should be getting tickets for the next Ube World, which is July 28th.
Yes, we will also. Mikey Perry, the host and producer of Ube World, will be there at the booth, and you can say hi to him, and you can exchange, and he will be giving out free tickets to Ube World, the next Ube World, because again, that last Ube World was sold out to the rafters, so you're going to want to get a free ticket to make sure that you get your seat to Ube World.
Come and join us. I'll be back down there with my shenanigans. I'll be down there for Comic-Con, actually, so I'll be down in San Diego starting Thursday, July.
You're going to be down for Comic-Con?
Yeah, I'm going to be down there. I'm on a panel.
I want to go with you, but I don't want to go with you. Like, I want to go with you, but then I don't.
It's a lot. Like,
it's a lot.
It's like
I'd stress about my plants.
I brought my wife one time, and she's like, "You can go next time." You know, like she conceded. She's like, "It's okay. It's a boys' thing."
I almost feel like I'd concede the Comic-Con until I'm really invited. I'd rather just not. I'm too old for that shit.
Well, I just go because like I like the folks that I've met through Comic-Con.
I'm sure,
like,
man.
They're really like shout out to,
and it's fun. I'm just saying for me now. Every time I'm and not to say that I'm married to the plants, but at the same time, especially at this such a delicate stage to where we're at in as far as the grow, because we're still re-vegging the clone, right? We're still nursing these seedlings, you know, and in the case of these regular autoflowers, I still got to figure out which one of these I'm going to kill because they're dudes.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of still stuff that we're trying to manage in the grow. So for me, trying to go out of town for any length of time wouldn't be a thing. Yeah. But I can go to San Diego for a day and, you know, come back.
But yeah, if you're at Comic-Con, I'll be there. I'll be walking the floor. I'll be just like hanging out. If you guys see me, come say hi. I'll have tickets for Ube World.
What character will you be dressed up as? Will you be costuming?
I don't know. Like
cosplaying, I should say.
I tried one time, and I felt really douchey about it. Like, one time I went out as myself, as Donkey Dog.
As Donkey Dog, yeah.
And, like, people got a kick out of it. And, like, it was funny because some people were like, hey, that guy's cosplay is really good.
Right? They're like, that dude looks just like Donkey Dog.
Right? And then, like, but because I think enough time has passed where people, like, they want to be polite about it. They just don't want to call out any random dude that looks like Donkey Dog because, like, I can see how, like, if you go up to the wrong person, they'll be like, "What are you talking about?" Or like, how they can take it the wrong way.
Or you could go to some Filipino who's looked like you for a long time, and all throughout the Good Place, now he hates Donkey Dog, and every time you mention it, you're like, "Mother God, no, I am not Donkey Dog."
Yeah. No, but like enough time.
Actually, I would always love it if somebody were to mistake me for Donkey Dog. I would love that shit.
No, like. It's funny because like I was telling you, like if you guys are watching The Acolyte, Manny Jacinto's in that. He plays Jason Mendoza on The Good Place. He plays my son, and I just love that because of Manny and Eugene Cordero that I'm still relevant after all this time. You guys keep killing it, because as long as you guys keep killing it, I pop up
Listen,
in the
man,
conversation.
you are relevant as well. You are a Canna Kuya.
That is true.
Please. You are a relevancy. You are relevant in the cannabis industry and in the small but mighty Filipino American cannabis community. Because we know it's small because then nobody buy the merch.
Yeah.
But I feel like Mikey told me to place it. He told me to go on the other side and be on the counter, and I should have listened to him, because if we'd have done that on the initial rush, we would have sold some shirts.
Yeah, it's fine.
And it's fine. It's live and learn. We're just learning. But if you do want a Canna Kuya merch and support our podcast, support what we're doing here, and support our comedy tour and all the other stuff, go to 12productions.com and you can get some merch, because I haven't linked. I tried to link the cannakuya.com, and I don't know how to do it. You're gonna have to help me.
Okay, yeah,
we're gonna figure it out. But we do also have the cannakuya.com, cannakuyas.com. Cannakuyas.com?
Oh my god,
I'm fucking retarded, dude. Cannakuyas.com, right? It's plural. I'm just making sure on the website it's plural.
Yes.
Okay. Cannakuyas.com. We have it and we own the domain, but it's not yet connected to our shop. But we will be connecting it soon, and you can go there as well. But for now, if you want to come support the podcast and you want to support us, please buy some merch at the 12productions.com.
I think, okay, so this is something I wanted to circle back to, because to close this out, like we'll talk about smoking again, because Mikey always brings up this fact whenever we hang out. So Mikey is the traditional, like, hey, if you bring a joint, if you bring something to smoke, you share it with, you do a cipher, you pass, puff, puff, pass, right? But every time he hangs out with Eric or I, like Eric and I, like, I've gotten burned too many times from people being sick, and then I end up getting sick myself. Right?
And after COVID, I just don't share joints.
Yeah, like I try, like I'm a lot more, like I still will do it, but I'm a lot more conscious of it.
Yeah, like I'm not like, if you look dirty, like you don't wash your legs, then I'm probably not going to share a joint with you.
So, so the way that Eric and I roll, it's like if we bring joints for whoever.
Everybody.
Yeah, like it's just everyone gets their
Which
own.
I'm going to not stop doing, but I'm going to figure out and choose my battles wisely so that I'm not going to the dispensary. What
you do is like you smoke one for yourself and then you give the group one.
Smart.
Yeah. But
See, this is why I need Mitch in my life, because he gives me direction in my life that I don't have in my own brain.
Doesn't that make sense, though? It's like, here, one for me, one for you.
Kirk needed Spock,
Who's Kirk in this situation?
I don't care who it is.
I'm Picard.
There you go. Picard needed, what's his name? Dude with the beard.
Jonathan Frakes.
What's number one?
Oh,
was it number one? He would say number one, make it so, right?
Yeah, but I'm a Star Wars guy. I'm sorry, Star Trek.
Right. I mean, even in even with the Sith and Manny and the Acolyte, there's always two. You need a partner.
Yeah,
you need a partner in this game, regardless of who's the master and who's the Acolyte. Don't matter to me. I'm just saying that we are both one with the force of cannabis. Filipino cannabis Jedis.
I am one with the Force. The Force is one with me.
Because your son Manny is a bad Jedi. He's a Sith, or whatever the hell he ends up being. We can geek out, and I can give you my theory that he might be the first Knight of Ren, because they keep playing that Kylo Ren theme whenever he gets on and starts talking. But anyway, hold on. We can get into the flirt. We can get back into the flirts.
Before we go back to the smoking, okay, you know what? Okay, if someone can make this happen, like I'm gonna put this into the universe. I think this would be the funniest. Like the universe has the opportunity to do the funniest thing ever.
Okay.
All right. They cast me as a Jedi, and I have to take out my son instead of helping him.
Look, man, Kevin Feige, who the lady who produces the Star Wars movies.
Is it Sarah Finn?
No, Sarah Finn's the casting director for Marvel, but I don't know if she's the casting director. Listen, whoever the casting is for Star Wars, you need to get. I mean, that's the ultimate. That would be the ultimate Filipino chimere. I am your father. Putang ina.
But how freaking
That would be so awesome if the mask came out and it'd be like, my boy.
no, it's like I have to come back and I have to fix my mistakes. You know, like I gotta. You're the you're the reason.
Or you're a recluse. Like, who knows? Maybe now I think it might be. We can discuss the whole the conspiracy connections between Star Wars and The Good Place, and how when you're one with the Force, you go to the good place.
It's all connected.
And yeah.
Okay, hold on. Okay.
And Chimere escaped the good place and is now living in the Star Wars universe as a bad Jedi, you know, and you're his dad for real. I'm just saying. I'm just pitching it. You never know. It's a 45-second elevator pitch at the end of the Canna podcast.
I already have my Jedi name.
What's your Jedi name?
Obi-Wan Adobo.
Get the fuck out of here. Listen. So no, but that's one thing that I love about this podcast and having you on it is that you really are a little bit of a Filipino American celebrity. You were the first Filipino American to hold a bong.
I don't know if that holds any significance though.
That is significant to me, motherfucker. That is significant.
Okay.
It is a significant thing in the cannabis community, I feel like.
Okay.
Especially with that high dude that came up to you in Wrigleyville. Remember in Wrigleyville?
Yeah.
And it was like, oh my God, this is Dunkin' Dog. Come on, man. He thought you were like the Filipino leprechaun on St. Patrick's Day. It was fucking awesome.
Okay. Anyway, so going back to what we were talking about. Wow.
Smoking and cannabis and all this
Yeah.
stuff.
But okay, so nowadays, right? Mm-hmm. Do you still share your stuff?
I still don't.
Or do you bring individual...
No, like you said, you've given me a new modus operandi, a new MO, in that I'm not... as much as I want to be generous with my homegrown and I want people to try it, you're smart. If we're with a big group of people, not everybody's getting a joint.
Yeah.
Just one for the group. Y'all should try this and pass it out. And I'm gonna be back here with mine, and then I'm gonna smoke mine. That's just
because like I feel like, you know, for one, like I'm not balling like that. I can't. Mm. I'd love to be able to smoke everyone out. Like
I'd love to too.
Like,
but I'd like to be able to harvest and get to a point in my grow where that is the case. And I know that there's going to be a case because I listen to the other growers on all the shows that I watch, from Welcome to the Grow Tent or Mr. Grow It or any of these guys who talk about, I have such an abundance of weed. I just give every time I have a house guest.
I want to be like Oprah.
Give weed away.
And that's like Oprah.
And that's how I felt in my first initial harvest, and I still feel that way. And I feel like once I'm back again flush with jars, I'll probably again return to my generosity and just, you know, because who else is going to smoke it, man? And it's only fresh for so long. I'm not trying to give somebody some old ass dried up, you know, year-old weed. So why not share it? That's the point of it, right?
Like I said, I want to be able, you get an eighth and you get
exactly,
an eighth.
Man.
You
exactly. And that to me is what growing your own empowers you to do. And especially when, you know, and I'm really starting to get a rhythm to this because, you know, part of what I've learned about the first 6 months of my first 6 harvests, having a perpetual grow, was that I was overwatering, you know? And I think I keep learning constantly every day that I'm growing, whether it's micromanaging the plants or overwatering or how to water or how to dry back or all these other different techniques in gardening that have applied to my life. You know what I'm saying? So that I'm more patient in life. I'm not. I breathe. There's so many different things that growing has given me. That's part of why this podcast is so important to me. Is that I want people to discover that as well. So you should go back and listen to the old episodes that talk about how we set up your grow and how to set up your grow, because I want everybody who's listening to this to grow with us. That's kind of going to be the motto going forward of this podcast, is grow with us, because I want to figure out and partner up with seed companies so we can do like a Canna promo and do like a grow off with all of our listeners and grow with us. And if you're having problems or want to have suggestions on how to grow this beautiful plant that we all love, and that's why we're listening to this podcast. I want this to be one of the many resources that you have online, but one of the resources online that you can come to, and we can grow together, and we can talk grow, and we can talk smoke and do all these things other than the podcast. Because again, so follow us at Canna Kuyas, right? I got it right that time. At Canna Kuyas on Instagram. You could just shoot us a DM if you want, and I'll put it out there again. Write a review on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify. Give us a 5-star rating, but then screen cap that, and the first one who does gets some your choice of Canna Kuya merch that we will send out to you if you send us a screen cap of your review and DM us, and then we'll contact you through email to get all your information and send you out a Canna Kuya t-shirt or a Marijuana Ate t-shirt.
Speaking of Marijuana Ates, to all the Canna Kuyas and Marijuana Ates out there, we'd like to thank you for listening to this podcast. Stay lifted.
Stay elevated all day. I'm Eric Esteban.
And I'm Mitch Narito. Peace, y'all.
Peace.
Yeah, I got my hoodie on, now peep the chest, that's human catalyst. Downtown Chula Vista, on 3rd Ave where I go cop some shit. Fuck a thief, so fuck zoomies, yeah, they whack ass jacket shit. Yeah, I move too swift, so I strike in silence. Fuck the violence, man, check my mileage, cause I got drive. First tour, I drove 6 states, never thought I'd be there right by my side, man. What a time it is to be alive. See, I'm charged up, feeling energized, build an enterprise, move supersize. Y'all let shit like a side of fries. Whoa, false guys who you idolize, yeah, go against us, I would not advise. We the highest in the room, just look up once and you can find us. Our song should have more plays, but we too though, they rewind us. All my targets lined up, every day my girl get fined up. All my clothes is local, bitch, I really rock designer.
Let's go, gang, highest in the room, yo, we get fucked up. You can count on Trey Cap, bring the loud pack. Get us in the stew and that's game over. Western Metal Building, that's a home run. Yeah, keep the up or leave the fuck a Folgers. Little bitch, I made the beat and dropped the full verse. I just hit a steelo, I got dripped up. Package born and raised, bitch, I got dripped up. Y no se compara. Yo estoy con mi pana, se llama Drake, fumando ganja. Estamos con Cali, fumando en Cali, yo sé que traen ganas. Ella me dice, papi, que terminamos la cama. Highest in the room, yeah, we get fucked up. You can count on Trey Cap, bring the loud pack. Get us in the stew and that's game over. Western Metal Building, that's a home run.
Yeah, we got hits like Tatis and Machado. Man, we know you're not a leader, cause all our moves you just follow, packing big bowls. You know we just scooped up that gelato, cause I smoke killer. My shirt iller, yo, ask our dealer. We the highest in the room, just look up once and you can find us. Our song should have more plays, but we too though, they rewind us. All my targets lined up, every day my girl get fined up. All my clothes is local, bitch, I really rock designer.
Highest in the room, yeah, we get fucked up. You can count on Trey Cap, bring the loud pack. Get us in the stew and that's game over. Western Metal Building, that's a home run.